Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this card, and I'm using several things from the new Amy Designs Classic Men's Collection. So I've used the travel frame die, which looks like this. I've used this little gentleman die. It comes as one, but it cuts out a hat, which I haven't used, but it cuts out the glasses and the moustache. And also I've used one of the 3D pushouts. Now you can see I've already popped out a couple of them, one of which is already here. So there's this one with the hat, the suitcases, the shoes and the glasses. And then I have already glued this one ready for the card. This one a little bit more formal with a top hat and sort of boots and gloves. More sort of maybe going to ask. I presume this box is for the top hat, but so that one came from there. This one came from here, and then the third one is this lovely waistcoat and tie, again with the suitcases. I think this one's called Travel. This 3D push out. It's SB10632. There are 4 in the collection. Plus there are other dies as well, so have a look on the channel to see some of the other videos I've made using other bits of the collection. So I'm going to start with the push out, and I'm going to grab a little piece of paper. I say little, that's a rather large piece of paper, isn't it? It's okay. So just show you how the push outs work in case you haven't seen them before. There are quite a few videos I've already done that involve push-outs from various of the Amy Designs or the Aall Creations. So, but I will show you how to do it. Excuse me, in case this is the only video you watch. So, I do apologise. I have a right frog in my throat this morning. So, I use an old mouse mat, the back of an old mouse mat, and I use a large ball tool. Now, this ball tool set comes in a pack of 3. You can get them off the Hixxycrafts website. And you need to push these out. These are what you would term decoupage paper. So they're quite a glossy paper, but they are a paperweight. So you want to be a little bit careful with them. They come numbered, and if you've never seen them before, there are always 3 images. Always 3 images. And then each set is numbered in a different colour so that you don't get lost with which bits go with which. Because although this one's nice and vertical, you know, that goes with that, sometimes they sneak little bits on to the side of them. So just be a little bit careful and aware. So I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to take the largest of the ball tools, and I'm going to just run it over the back. And you can see that just pops it out straight away. Now, if you're not keen on the little pips, then get a pair of scissors, which I will do because I'm not that keen on them. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I forget to do it. Just snip that off. Now, it's up to you if you want to sort of take one piece out and then glue that, or take them all out. I tend to take them all out in one go, but lay them out so I know which is which. And if you do lose track of which is which, well, first of all, you could try slotting them back into the gaps on the sheet. The other thing is to work on the principle that the images get smaller. There's a smaller amount of the original image on each successive layer. Just got the hat there to do. Okay. And how you put these together, again, is a case of personal preference, really, because I prefer to use 3D glue gel, but that does take a while to dry, which is why I always pre-prep one for a video demo. But if you used foam pads, then you know they'll be ready instantly. So it is absolutely a case of whichever you prefer. And you know, you don't always have to use all of it together. You could use these 2 bits separately. You could put this bit of decoupage on there and this one on here and create 2 different images. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to just glue this on. So I've teamed this up with the travel frame. It's called. Let's get that in front of me. Just called, yeah. So I think I said maybe the 3D push out was called travel. I'm rethinking that. I think that might be called gentleman's accessories. And this is the travel frame, but I thought they went together because of the whole, you know, suitcases and the hats. It all seemed to just go pretty well. Now I've lost a layer. Going to be one of those days, is it? Things are going to be eaten by the desk. Okay. It is no biggie because I'm not going to use this one on my card. So I'm just going to put the hat. Oops. The hat on as well. And if I find the other, I could use it as a decoration. So I've lost the third layer already within 5 minutes, which is one reason why, you know, you could keep them in. But that's all there is to putting those together. It's no biggie. And we're going to put that one aside to dry because I already have one for the rest of the demo. So let's put that. That's me trying to be clever and showing you the frame at the same time. So we are going to make this. Oh, there it is. Oh no, that's the one I want. So I'm making a card that is where this becomes a nice sort of decorative edge. So we need a piece of our card, which I have cut at 4 inches by 8 inches, and I'm going to score it at 5. Board and scoring tool box, and I'm going to score it at 5. Okay. So that gives us that little fold there. And just burnish that like so. And I'm also, because I can see my pencil mark from where I measured my card, I'm just going to get rid of that. So we're not cutting into this card, we're just going to lay this frame at an angle just to create a nice decorative edge. So that's the base card. And I have now the colours are slightly different to this one because I wanted to sort of tone in with the particular parts of that image, but the whole principle is the same. So I'm just grabbing my glue. I'm just going to put these mats and layers in so that they can be drying while I'm doing the rest. Ooh. That's because my glue's been upright in my box. Okay. I'll start to work its way down. So just oh, that's not straight. Just concentrate on what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And that piece there. So very sort of neutral tones to try and tone in with the decoupage. But if you're just using the frame on its own, then and with something else, then you know you might want some brighter colours. Okay, so that's our little base card made. We put that to one side now. Put that somewhere where hopefully I won't lose it. And we will look at the dies now. So the travel frame is one die, and as you can see, it has a case. It has glasses, bow tie, hat, some cogs, a moustache, and an umbrella. There's 2 moustaches. Okay, and obviously it's going to cut out that way round. So I need a piece of card, and I have a piece of card that is far too big, but it's the brown that I've used on the mats and layers. Let's grab my big scissors. Just cut that down. We're going to put that frame and some tape to take that to the card. Okay. And then I also want to cut, I need that in a moment. I want to cut, this is the gentleman die. As you can see, it cuts the three pieces. So we'll cut that first in the brown, and then we'll cut it again in the burgundy. So I'm going to put these on our plate. They may need a bit of extra pressure, but we'll try without to begin with. Through. Any second now, that other bit of my decoupage is going to pop up and say, "Here I am." Mind. Not to worry. So let's have a look. It's all cut quite nicely. What I might just do, I'm going to always just look, these little bits, these little moustaches, you know, they can be useful for other projects. I didn't want them on this one, so I don't think I did. No, yeah, I'm going to just run this through, both of them through with the embossing mat, just because there's a little bit of detail on there that hasn't come through because I didn't use a huge amount of pressure. There's enough pressure to cut, but not enough to bring out that that little bit of detail. When I cut that gentleman die with this one, I won't bother because it's going under just to provide a little bit of a shadow, so it won't matter too much. Now I can see now just by looking at the die from the back that I have that embossed detail, which I didn't have before. It also, if it hasn't quite cut, it also gives it an extra little push for cutting there. So let's take this one out first because we're going to run this one quickly through again, but we don't need to emboss like I said. Yeah. So remember, these are separate pieces, so they will drop out separately. Just grab a pokey tool. We have the glasses, the hat that came out the centre of the glasses, and then we have the moustache. And you can hopefully put that in a bit of white, maybe. There's a little bit of embossing here. It's worth running it through because the detail is quite nice and just adds to it. So we're just going to run that very quickly through again. But this time, like I say, I'm not worrying about embossing it because I don't need the detail on it. And while that's going through, we'll start taking this one out. Now you can see this is where I've left the tape on while I embossed it. It's basically completely adhered to the tape. So even though I'm using some really nice low tack tape, you really should, and I always forget, but you really should take off the tape before you emboss. I always forget. So let's just pop that one out. There's the glasses. As I said, I'm not worried about any embossed detail on this, although it's actually done not too badly there. Okay, let's get rid of that and that, and then we'll take this one out. And I really do need to replace the head on my die brush, but we'll get enough bits out. There we go. So you can see the really lovely detail. Now I am going to take my, bear with me, my little box in. Box of goodies here. My little sanding block, because I am just going to give this a little bit of a sand. It's not very clean, but hopefully it will allow me to just, it brings out a little bit more of that embossed detail, as you can see. So where it sort of is raised. Now I'm being very careful because some of these bits are very, very very thin, and I don't want to rip it. So I've just given that a little bit of a sand just to distress it there. Okay, and yeah, very, very little left in that dye for cleaning, which is really good. So let's put the dyes away so that I do not lose them. In that little packs. Okay, right. So the last, oh, I need the dye again, because what I want is a background for this. I want this, you see the burgundy background. I want this, something to sit this on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around this. I'm going to draw around it this way so that when I cut it out, you won't see my pencil lines for it that way. So this just gives it a nice sort of base. Let's get my pencil wound up. Now, you don't need to worry too much about being totally, in all the details, because what you're providing is a mat for it to go round, for it to sit on. So I certainly wouldn't be cutting all those little in and out bits on the cog. You just want the basic outline shape, and I've moved that. So I'm just going to cut this out. I'm using large scissors. Like I said, as long as I'm pretty much following that shape, I'm not worrying if I'm missing any sort of fine detail. And try not to cut sort of it too far inside the pencil line either, because this will, if you cut on or just outside these pencil lines, then you will definitely have a mat that is just slightly larger than the die, because it's just the way the die works. The cutting edge is just slightly inside. So now you can do this with any of your dies, really. Sometimes these days they do come with a mat, but not always. Quite often the sentiments do. So if you want to create a mat with your sort of more intricate dies to sit on, then this is the way to do it. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted that to hang over the edge of that front of the card, rather than just being sat flat or straight on to that bit of card. Okay, so we're getting there. So there, I'm not going to get too concerned with that. And then round. Like so. And okay, so now I have my my mat that will sit on. Okay, and then my little decoupage piece will sit on the top. So we now need to get that glued on. I'll grab my fine glue and might use my bigger nozzle. You need to stand this upside down so I get the glue down. I do use my bigger nozzle for those larger areas. Standing down, and then my finer applicator, once it starts, there we go, it starts deciding it's going to work. I try to use on the thinner bits like so. Okay, around that. I've gone very quiet there. Stop talking, concentrating. Okay, so I am still going to block this, because even with my fine applicator on some of those really, really thin bits, I will have a little bit too much glue. Okay, so this is now going to sit on here. Just need to wiggle it around a little bit. So you're happy where it's sitting. Like, whoops, not like so, don't push it like I just did there. Like I say, these little bits are very fine. So that is now on the background. We bring in our card and kind of going to sort of sit it at an angle like this. I'm just going to sort of roughly decide where I want it, and then with my pencil just give myself a little bit of a line there so that I know where to glue up to. Just make sure I glue on the right side. So I'm just going to put the glue on like so, and then also gives me a rough idea of where I want to stick this, like so. There we go. So that's on. And then I'm going to my tweezers, and I'm going to put the burgundy ones down first. Just block that off a little bit. I'm using the spectacles there. I'm doing this before I put the decoupage piece on, just because it will get in my way otherwise. So glue on there, and like so, and then a little moustache down at the bottom, one way around. There, and I think I said earlier I didn't use the hat. I did use the hat. I used it in the inside. So up there. See there, I used it just to add a little extra detail on the inside. So we're going to do the same on this one. Just put that in here. And then our last thing will be just to add on the decoupage from the 3D Pushout. Like so. Okay. Put the glue pin back in my glue. She says easier said than done. There we go. And then this one's going to go on straight. So my frame's gone on at an angle, and this one's going to sit in straight in. Ooh, gluing me. Okay. Ah, got their fingers today. Like so. And because this is dry, the really glue is really dry, I can push that down quite easily. It's not going to affect this. Oh, and I'm going to keep my two little moustaches for potentially for another project. They can go in a little pot with all the bits and pieces. So there we have. So there's two versions of this card, basically using exactly the same elements. So we used the now empty, the 3D Pushouts, and I think I've got it written down. It's called Gentleman. That 3D Pushout is SB10632. I have teamed it up with the Travel Frame die and the Gentleman die, all from the new Amy Design Classic Men's Collection. There are a few more dies, a few more push-outs in the collection. So make sure you have a look on the channel, because there are other videos that I will have done using other elements from this amazing collection. So if you're a little bit pushed for what to make for the men in your life, it's worth checking this one out. Thank you for joining me.